The fluorescent lights in the 14th floor hallway buzzed like angry wasps. Jamal Thompson pushed the wheelchair slowly. His shoulders were tight. His hands gripped the worn rubber handles. Ahead, a group of nurses gathered outside room 1407. Their voices were sharp, urgent. One voice rose above the rest. Laura Mitchell, nursing director. 51 years old, white. Her voice could cut through steel. Where is transport? We need this patient moved now. Jamal approached. His footsteps were quiet against the polished floor. He had learned to move without sound. Invisible workers always did. Laura turned. Her eyes swept over him. Not at him, over him, like he was furniture. Take Mrs. Hernandez to radiology. 3rd floor. Do not stop anywhere else. No greeting. No please, just commands. Jamal nodded. He always nodded. 4 years and 2 months of nodding. Behind Laura, a tall man in a white coat stood with his arms crossed. Dr. Richard Castellano, chief resident. His eyes were on his phone. He did not look up. Make sure he uses the service elevator, Dr. Castellano said. His voice was flat. Matter of fact, VIP patients are arriving today. We cannot have transport staff in the main corridors. The words landed like stones. We cannot have transport staff. If you believe justice is still alive, show us by hitting that subscribe button right now. This is Tales of Black Justice, where we share true stories of people who were pushed down but rose up stronger. Press the like button if you stand with those who refuse to stay invisible. Jamal's jaw tightened. His fingers pressed harder against the wheelchair handles. But his face showed nothing. He had practiced that face in the mirror, the face that absorbed insults like a sponge absorbed water. Understood, he said quietly. Laura was already walking away. Her heels clicked against the floor. Click, 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 the sound of authority. Jamal moved the wheelchair into room 1407. Mrs. Hernandez sat on the bed. 70 years old, kind eyes. She smiled when she saw him. Good morning, young man. Good morning, Mrs. Hernandez. How are you feeling today? Better now that I see a friendly face. He helped her into the wheelchair. Gentle. Careful. His hands knew exactly how to support her weight without causing pain. 3 years of medical school had taught him that. But no one here knew about those 3 years. They moved down the hallway, past the nurse's station, past the doctor's lounge, toward the service elevator at the far end. The main elevator was closer, faster. But it was not for people like him. In the service elevator, Mrs. Hernandez looked up at him. You are very gentle. Have you thought about becoming a nurse? Jamal smiled. A sad smile. I have thought about it. The elevator doors opened on the 3rd floor. Radiology. He wheeled her down another corridor, through another set of doors marked staff only. Always through the back. Always out of sight. He delivered Mrs. Hernandez to the imaging room. A technician took over without a word to him. He was already invisible again. Jamal walked back to the service elevator. His shift had 6 more hours. 6 more hours of moving through hallways like a ghost. In his pocket, his phone buzzed. A reminder. Student loan payment due. $67,000. 4 years of payments. The number never seemed to get smaller. He leaned against the elevator wall. His eyes closed. Just for a moment, in his mind he saw a different hallway. Johns Hopkins University. White coat. Stethoscope. The life he almost had. The elevator doors opened. 14th floor. He stepped out, back to work, back to being invisible. 6 hours earlier. 5:30 in the morning. Chicago was still dark. Jamal's alarm rang. He reached over and silenced it. His studio apartment was small. 1 room. A bed, a desk, a tiny kitchen. Rent was $1,400 a month. Half his paycheck. He stood. Stretched. His back ached from yesterday's 12-hour shift. Lifting patients. Moving equipment. His body paid the price. In the bathroom mirror, he looked at himself. 29 years old. Dark skin, short hair. Tired eyes. He splashed water on his face. Cold water. It helped him wake up. On the desk, a thick book lay open. Harrison's Principles of Internal Medicine. 4th edition. The pages were worn, highlighted. Notes in the margins. He had bought it used 5 years ago. $75 he could not afford, but he bought it anyway. Every morning before work he read. 30 minutes. Sometimes an hour if he woke early enough. Today's chapter. Cardiovascular pharmacology. Drug interactions. Side effects, contraindications, he read carefully. His finger traced the lines. Some people read fiction to escape. Jamal read medical textbooks for the same reason. This was the life he was supposed to have. Should have had. His phone buzzed. A text from his mother. Good morning, baby. Did you sleep okay? I love you, he smiled. Replied quickly. Love you too, Mom. How are you feeling? 3 dots appeared. She was typing. Good day today. Therapy helped. Thank you for everything. His throat tightened. His mother, Diane Thompson, 62 years old, stroke survivor. 3 years ago, her life had changed in an instant. So had his. He had been in his 4th year at Johns Hopkins. Pre-med, top of his class. Medical school acceptance letters were coming. Johns Hopkins, University of Pennsylvania, Stanford. Then the phone call. Your mother collapsed. Massive stroke. Left side paralyzed. He flew home to Baltimore. Found her in the ICU. Tubes, machines, monitors beeping. The doctor said she might never walk again. Might never speak clearly again. But Diane Thompson was strong. She fought. Physical therapy 5 days a week. Speech therapy. Occupational therapy, insurance covered some. Not all. Not enough. Jamal made a choice. He withdrew from Hopkins. Moved back home. Became her caregiver. Medical school acceptance letters arrived. He put them in a drawer. Unopened. He found work. Any work, first at a grocery store, then a warehouse. Then finally, Chicago Lakefront Medical Center. Patient transport. Night shift. $29,000 a year. Barely enough. But his mother was walking now. Talking. Laughing. Alive. That was worth everything. He closed the textbook. Stood. Got dressed. Navy blue scrubs. The cheapest ones. $15 at a uniform store. On his dresser sat a small frame. Inside a photo. Him at Hopkins. White coat ceremony. First year of medical school that never happened. His mother had framed it. Keep this, she said. Your dream is not dead. Just delayed. He picked up the frame. Looked at the young man in the photo. Confident. Hopeful. Naive. That person felt like a stranger now. He set it down. Grabbed his backpack. Inside was a worn EMT certification card. Basic level. He had earned it 2 years ago. Studied at night. Passed on the first try. It was something. Not much, but something. He left the apartment. Walked 3 blocks to the bus stop. The city was waking up. Streetlights flickered off one by one. The bus arrived. He climbed on. Found a seat in the back. Put in earbuds. But no music played. He just wanted to be left alone. 25 minutes later, he arrived at Chicago Lakefront Medical Center. The building was massive. 12 stories. Glass and steel. Modern. Expensive. He entered through the employee entrance. Swiped his badge. The light turned green. Inside, he walked down a long hallway. Toward the basement. The locker room for support staff. Janitors. Food service. Transport. Maintenance. All the people who kept the hospital running. All the people no one saw. He opened his locker. Number 47. Inside hung his work vest. Yellow. Reflective strips. The word transport on the back in bold letters. He put it on. The fabric was stiff. Uncomfortable. A uniform that announced his status. Next to his locker. Another worker was changing. Marcus. 60 years old. Janitor. 20 years at the hospital. Morning, Jamal. Morning, Marcus. Long shift ahead? 8 hours. You. 10. They need me on the VIP floor today. Senator's husband is here. Everything has to be perfect. Jamal nodded. He had heard. Senator Catherine Reynolds. Her husband was admitted yesterday. Heart condition. VP suite. 14th floor. The floor Laura Mitchell controlled like a kingdom. Marcus lowered his voice. Be careful up there today. Laura is stressed. When she is stressed, she takes it out on us. Jamal knew. He had learned that lesson many times. He closed his locker. Grabbed his work tablet. Time to check the schedule. 6 transports before noon. 4 more in the afternoon. Then equipment delivery. Then whatever emergencies came up. He walked toward the elevator. The service elevator. Always the service elevator. As the doors closed, he caught his reflection in the metal. The yellow vest. The tired eyes. The invisible man. Somewhere above him, doctors were arriving in their white coats. Nurses in their clean scrubs. Residents with their confident strides. And here he was, in the basement. Going up. 10:15 in the morning. The 14th floor was chaos. Jamal stepped off the service elevator. Immediately he heard raised voices. Footsteps running. The sharp beep of monitors. Something was wrong. He moved quickly down the hallway. Toward room 1402, the VIP suite. The largest room on the floor. Private. Luxurious. More like a hotel than a hospital. Outside the door, Laura Mitchell stood with her arms crossed. Her face was pale. Dr. Castellano was next to her. He was on his phone. His voice was urgent. I do not care if you are in surgery. We need Dr. Morrison here now. The patient's condition is changing. Jamal slowed. He should not be here. This was not his business. But his eyes caught the monitor through the open door. Heart rate 130. Blood pressure 90/60. Oxygen saturation 88%. Those numbers were wrong. Dangerously wrong. Inside the room, an elderly man lay in the bed. 72 years old, gray hair. His breathing was labored. Fast, shallow. A woman sat beside him, perfectly dressed, calm exterior, but her hands were shaking. Senator Catherine Reynolds. A young resident stood at the bedside, Dr. Amy Chen, 28 years old, third-year resident. She was checking the patient's chart. Her movements were quick, nervous. His oxygen is dropping, she said. Her voice was tight. I think it is an asthma attack. History shows mild asthma. I am going to administer epinephrine and steroids. Laura nodded. Do it quickly. Jamal froze. His stomach dropped. Epinephrine for asthma. But something was wrong with that logic. Very wrong. He looked at the patient again. The man's face. It was swollen. His lips were puffy. His tongue looked thick. That was not asthma. Jamal's 3 years at Hopkins screamed in his head. The symptoms, the timing, the medications. He took one step forward, then stopped. This was not his place. He was transport. Nothing more. Dr. Chen prepared the syringe. Epinephrine, 0.3 milligrams. Standard dose for anaphylaxis or severe asthma. But this was not anaphylaxis. And it was not asthma. Jamal's eyes went to the medication list on the wall. Every VIP room had one. Large print. Easy to read. Lisinopril, blood pressure medication. ACE inhibitor, ibuprofen, pain relief, NSAID. His heart stopped. Those two medications, together, they could cause angioedema. Swelling of the face, swelling of the tongue, swelling of the throat, not an allergic reaction, not asthma. A drug interaction, and epinephrine would do nothing. Maybe make it worse. The patient needed different treatment. Antihistamines, fresh frozen plasma. Possible intubation. Dr. Chen raised the syringe. Her hand moved toward the IV line. Jamal's feet moved before his brain could stop them. Wait! Every head turned. Laura's eyes went wide. Dr. Castellano's jaw dropped. Jamal stood in the doorway. His heart pounded. His voice shook. Do not give him that. Laura's face turned red. Excuse me? Dr. Chen lowered the syringe slightly, confused. Jamal stepped into the room. His hands trembled, but his voice grew steadier. That is not asthma. Look at his face. Look at his tongue. That is angioedema. Drug-induced. The lisinopril and ibuprofen. They are causing the swelling. Dr. Castellano moved forward. His voice was ice. Get out. You have no authority here. I have eyes, Jamal shot back, and I can read a medication list. Epinephrine will not help him. You need to stop the medications. Give antihistamines. Prepare for possible intubation. Laura grabbed his arm, hard. You are transport. Get out of this room before I call security. Senator Reynolds stood. Her voice was sharp, commanding. Wait, let him speak. Everyone froze. The senator walked to Jamal. Her eyes locked on his. You see something the doctors do not see? Jamal swallowed. His mouth was dry. Yes, ma'am. This is a drug interaction. ACE inhibitors like lisinopril can cause swelling when combined with NSAIDs like ibuprofen. It is called bradykinin-mediated angioedema. It looks like an allergic reaction, but it is not. Epinephrine will not work. He needs supportive care. Stop the drugs. Monitor his airway. If the swelling gets worse, he needs a breathing tube. The room was silent. Everyone stared at him. Dr. Chen looked at the medication list, then at the patient, then back at Jamal. How do you know this? Jamal hesitated. This was the moment he could not take back. I studied at Johns Hopkins. 3 years. Pre-med, I did not finish, but I learned enough to recognize this. Laura's grip loosened. Her face went pale. Dr. Castellano's phone buzzed. He answered, listened. His expression changed. Dr. Morrison just confirmed. He reviewed the chart remotely. It is angioedema. Drug-induced. He wants us to hold all ACE inhibitors and NSAIDs. Administer antihistamines. Prepare for possible intubation. Dr. Chen set down the epinephrine. Her hands shook. The senator looked at Jamal. Her eyes were wet. You just saved my husband's life. Jamal could not speak. His legs felt weak. Laura released his arm. She stepped back. Her face was unreadable. Dr. Castellano stared at him. Johns Hopkins? Jamal nodded once. The room stayed silent. But everything had changed. The patient stabilized within 30 minutes. The swelling began to decrease. His oxygen levels climbed back to 94%. His breathing slowed. Senator Reynolds sat beside her husband. She held his hand. Tears streamed down her face, but she was smiling. Dr. Morrison arrived 20 minutes later. The attending physician, 60 years old, gray beard, calm demeanor. He examined the patient, reviewed the chart, nodded. Good catch, he said. He looked around the room. Who identified the drug interaction? Silence. Dr. Chen glanced at Jamal. He stood in the corner, still wearing his yellow transport vest. He did, she said quietly. The transport technician. Dr. Morrison's eyebrows rose. He walked over to Jamal. extended his hand. What is your name? Jamal Thompson, sir. They shook hands. Dr. Morrison's grip was firm, respectful. Where did you learn to recognize angioedema? Johns Hopkins, sir. I was pre-med, 3 years. I did not finish. Dr. Morrison studied him. His eyes were sharp, assessing. Why did you not finish? Family emergency. My mother had a stroke. I became her caregiver. The doctor nodded slowly. And now you work transport? Yes, sir. 4 years. Dr. Morrison looked at Laura, then at Dr. Castellano. His expression hardened. This man just prevented a potentially fatal error. And he did it from the doorway, while wearing a transport vest. He paused. Let the words sink in. That raises questions. Laura's jaw tightened. Dr. Morrison, with respect, he overstepped his role. He has no medical credentials, no license. He should not have been in that room. Dr. Morrison turned to her. His voice was quiet but deadly. And if he had not been? What would have happened? No answer. Dr. Chen would have administered epinephrine. The swelling would have continued. The airway would have closed. We would have emergently intubated. Maybe successfully. Maybe not. He looked at Jamal again. This man saved a life today. That is a fact. Senator Reynolds stood. She walked to Jamal. Her heels clicked on the floor. Thank you, she said. Her voice broke. Thank you for not staying silent. Jamal nodded. He did not trust his voice. The senator turned to Dr. Morrison. I want to know why someone with 3 years of medical education is pushing wheelchairs. I want answers. Dr. Morrison nodded. So do I. He looked at Laura. I need to speak with HR. And with Dr. Patterson. Dr. Robert Patterson, Chief Medical Officer, the highest-ranking physician in the hospital. Laura's face went pale. 2 hours later, Jamal sat in a small conference room on the 2nd floor. He had never been in this room before. It was nice. Polished table, leather chairs, windows overlooking the city. The door opened. Dr. Patterson entered. 65 years old, trim, silver hair. Expensive suit under his white coat. Behind him came 2 others. Dr. Morrison, and a woman Jamal did not recognize. 40 years old, African-American, sharp eyes. She carried a folder. Mr. Thompson, Dr. Patterson said. He sat across from Jamal. I am Dr. Patterson. This is Dr. Morrison, whom you have met. And this is Angela Davis, our Director of Human Resources. Jamal nodded. His hands were sweating. I understand you prevented a serious medical error this morning. I just saw something the doctors missed, sir. Because of your medical training at Johns Hopkins. Yes, sir. Dr. Patterson leaned back. Tell me about your time there, Jamal explained. 3 years, pre-med track. High grades, MCAT score of 512. Top 10%, medical school acceptance letters. Then his mother's stroke. Withdrawal. The move to Chicago. Angela Davis took notes. Her pen moved quickly. When Jamal finished, Dr. Patterson was quiet for a moment. Then he asked, Have you ever applied for other positions here? Something beyond transport? Jamal hesitated. Yes, sir. 3 times. What positions? EMT paramedic training program, twice, and once for a patient care technician role on the cardiac floor. Angela flipped through her folder. Her expression changed. I have your applications here. All 3 were denied. Yes, ma'am. Do you know why? The emails said I did not meet the qualifications. Angela looked at Dr. Patterson. Something passed between them. Unspoken but heavy. Mr. Thompson, Angela said carefully, your applications were denied with the notation that you were overqualified. The concern was that you would leave the position quickly if something better came along. Jamal's chest tightened. But I have been here 4 years. I'm not going anywhere. I see that now. Angela paused. There is something else. I pulled records for all transport staff who applied for advancement in the past 3 years. 5 people. 3 were approved. 2 were denied. She slid a paper across the table. The 3 who were approved were white. The 2 who were denied were you and Marcus Williams. The room went silent. Jamal stared at the paper. The names, the dates, the pattern. Dr. Patterson removed his glasses, rubbed his eyes. This is unacceptable, Angela nodded. We have a systemic problem. One I intend to address immediately. Dr. Morrison leaned forward. Mr. Thompson, you saved a life today, but technically you also practiced medicine without a license. Do you understand that? Jamal's stomach dropped. Yes, sir. If the patient had died, you could have faced criminal charges. If the family had sued, you would have been named. You took an enormous risk, I know, sir, but I could not let him die. I understand, and I respect that. Dr. Morrison glanced at Dr. Patterson. But it highlights a deeper issue. We have someone with medical training working in a role that does not use that training. That is not just a waste. It is dangerous, both for him and for us. Senator Reynolds appeared in the doorway. No one had seen her approach. "Excuse the interruption," she said. She walked into the room. "I have been listening, and I have something to say." Dr. Patterson stood. "Senator, sit, please." She remained standing. Her presence filled the room. "My husband is alive because this man spoke up. But here is what troubles me. He had to risk his job to do it. He had to defy authority. He had to ignore the rules." She looked at each person in turn. If the system requires someone to break the rules in order to save a life, then the system is broken. No one spoke. "I want to know what you are going to do about it." Dr. Patterson took a breath. "We are going to fix it." The meeting continued for another hour. Jamal sat quietly as the adults in the room discussed his future. Angela Davis laid out the facts. 3 denied applications. A pattern of bias. Not overt, not intentional, but present nonetheless. "Our system rewards people who fit a certain mold," she said. "We say we want diversity, but our actions tell a different story. When someone like Mr. Thompson applies for advancement, we find reasons to say no. Overqualified. Flight risk. Not the right fit." Dr. Patterson listened. His face was grave. "I reviewed Mr. Thompson's employee file," Angela continued. "His performance reviews are excellent. Never late, never absent. Patients request him specifically. Coworkers respect him. By every measurable standard, he is an ideal employee." She paused, looked directly at Dr. Patterson. "But he has been stuck in the same position for 4 years, while others with less experience and fewer qualifications have moved up. That is not fair. And it is not legal." Dr. Morrison added, "There is another issue. Medical knowledge. Mr. Thompson has it. We need it. But we have no pathway for someone like him. No bridge program. No internal scholarship. No mentorship. We let talent slip through our fingers because we do not know how to recognize it." Senator Reynolds nodded. "Or because we choose not to." The words hung in the air. Dr. Patterson finally spoke. His voice was measured, careful. "You are right. All of you. We have failed Mr. Thompson. And likely others. That ends today." He turned to Jamal. "I am offering you a new position. Clinical care coordinator. You would work with patients, communicate with families, bridge the gap between medical staff and patients. It is not a nursing role. It is not a physician role. But it uses your knowledge, and it pays significantly more than transport." Jamal's heart pounded. "How much more?" $67,000 annually, with full benefits, and we will support your return to medical school. If you want to finish your degree, this hospital will help you do it." Jamal could not breathe. 67,000, more than double his current salary. Benefits, medical school support. "Why?" he asked. His voice was barely a whisper. "Why now?" Dr. Patterson leaned forward. "Because you proved yourself. And because we cannot afford to waste talent. Not anymore," Angela added. "There is also a legal reality. If you chose to file a discrimination complaint, you would have a strong case. Very strong. This hospital could face significant penalties. We would rather fix the problem than fight about it in court." Jamal looked at her. "Is that why you are doing this? To avoid a lawsuit?" "Partly," Angela admitted, "but not entirely." Senator Reynolds made a valid point. "Our system is broken. Fixing one person's situation does not fix the system. We need to do more." Senator Reynolds stepped forward. "Here is what I propose. My husband is alive because of you. I am grateful, but gratitude is cheap. Action is what matters. I am pledging $5 million to this hospital, but it comes with a condition." Everyone turned to her. "You will create a workforce development program for all support staff, transport, housekeeping, food service, anyone who wants to advance. You will provide training, scholarships, mentorship. You will find the hidden talent in your own building, and you will give them a path forward." Dr. Patterson's eyes widened. $5 million? Yes, but only if you commit to real change. Not just words, action. Angela was already taking notes. "We can do that. We should have done it years ago." Dr. Morrison nodded. "I will personally oversee the medical education component. If we have staff who want to become nurses, physicians, technicians, we will help them." Jamal sat back in his chair. His mind was spinning. This was too much. Too fast. "Can I ask a question?" he said. Dr. Patterson nodded. "Of course." "What about Laura? And Dr. Castellano?" The room went quiet. "What about them?" Dr. Patterson asked carefully. "They are the ones who said I should not be there. Who told me to leave? Are they going to face consequences?" Dr. Patterson took a breath. "Laura Mitchell will be reassigned. She will no longer oversee the VIP floor. She will undergo mandatory training on implicit bias and workplace equity. Dr. Castellano will receive a formal reprimand. Both of them failed to recognize your value. That is a leadership failure. Will they lose their jobs? No, mistakes are not always grounds for termination. But they are grounds for re-education. We believe in second chances, for everyone. Jamal nodded slowly. He was not sure how he felt about that. Part of him wanted them punished. Another part understood that people could change. Senator Reynolds looked at Jamal. You have a choice to make. Accept the position. Return to medical school someday. Move forward. Or walk away. File a lawsuit. Burn bridges. Both are valid, but only one builds a future. Jamal thought about his mother, about the student loans, about the years of pushing wheelchairs, about the medical textbook in his apartment. I accept, he said. The position and the chance. Dr. Patterson smiled. It was the first time Jamal had seen him smile. Good, you start next Monday. Angela will handle the paperwork. Dr. Morrison will set up a meeting to discuss your medical school plans. And Senator Reynolds, thank you for everything. The senator shook Jamal's hand. No, thank you. You reminded me why I believe in people. Even when systems fail them, individuals can rise. The meeting ended. Jamal walked out of the conference room in a daze. In the hallway, he pulled out his phone, called his mother. Mom? Baby, is everything okay? Yeah, everything is okay. Better than okay. His voice broke. Mom, I got promoted, and they are going to help me go back to medical school. Silence on the other end. Then crying. Happy crying, oh baby. Oh my sweet boy, I knew it. I knew your time would come. Jamal leaned against the wall. Tears streamed down his face. I love you, Mom. I love you too. Now go celebrate. You earned this. He hung up, wiped his eyes, took a breath. Down the hallway, Marcus the janitor was mopping the floor. He looked up, saw Jamal's face. You okay, young man? Jamal smiled, a real smile. The first in years. Yeah, Marcus, I am okay. Actually, I am better than okay, Marcus grinned. Good. You deserve it. Jamal walked toward the elevator. Not the service elevator. The main elevator. Because starting Monday, he was allowed. The doors opened. He stepped inside. Pressed the button for the 14th floor. He had one more thing to do before his shift ended. Jamal found Laura in her office. The door was open. She sat at her desk. Her hands were folded. Her face was drawn. He knocked softly. She looked up. Saw him. Her expression did not change. Come in. He entered. Stood near the door. The office was small but organized. Certificates on the wall. Photos of her family. A mug that said Best Nurse Director. I heard, she said. Her voice was flat. You are being promoted. Yes, congratulations. The word had no warmth. Jamal shifted his weight. This was harder than he thought. I did not come here to gloat. Then why did you come? To ask you something. Laura waited. Why did you block my applications? She looked away. Out the window. The city stretched beyond, gray sky. Cold wind, I did not block them personally. HR made the decisions, but you could have advocated for me. You are a director. Your word carries weight. Laura's jaw tightened. You want honesty? Yes, fine. She turned back to him. Her eyes were hard. I thought you were overqualified. I thought if I helped you move up, I would lose a good transport tech. Selfish? Yes, but that is the truth. We are understaffed. Overworked. I needed reliable people in every position. And you were reliable. Jamal absorbed the words. They stung, but at least they were honest. Did my race play a role? He asked quietly. Laura flinched. I do not think so, but I cannot be sure. Bias is tricky. Sometimes you do not even know it is there. Maybe I saw a black man in a yellow vest and assumed that was where he belonged. Maybe I did not look deeper because I did not think I needed to. I do not know. The room was silent. I am sorry, she said. The words sounded forced, but they were there. I am sorry I did not see you. I am sorry I kept you small, Jamal nodded. Thank you for saying that. It does not change anything. No. But it is a start. Laura looked at him. Her eyes were wet. For what it is worth, you are right. I should have looked closer. I should have asked. You deserved better. I did, Jamal agreed. But so do a lot of people. Marcus, the housekeepers, the food service workers. How many of them have stories we never asked about? Laura had no answer. Jamal turned to leave, then stopped. One more thing. What? I am going to be on the committee for the new workforce development program. I want you to help. Laura looked shocked. Why would you want that? Because you know the system. You know where the gaps are. And because you can change, people can change. If they want to. She stared at him. You are serious. Yes, even after what I did? Especially because of what you did. You made a mistake. Now you can help fix it. That is how progress works. Laura was quiet for a long moment. Then she nodded. Okay, I will help. Jamal left the office. His heart was lighter. Not everything was resolved. But it was a step. He took the main elevator down to the basement. The locker room. His shift was almost over. Inside, Marcus was there. Changing out of his uniform, he looked tired. His back was bent. 20 years of mopping floors showed in every movement. "Marcus," Jamal said. "Can I ask you something?" "Sure, young man. Did you ever try to move up? Apply for other jobs?" Marcus chuckled, sad. "Twice, 10 years ago. Both times they said I was too old. Not a good fit. After that I stopped trying." "What if I told you that is about to change?" Marcus looked at him. "What do you mean?" "There is a new program starting. Workforce development. For people like us. People who want to advance. Would you be interested?" Marcus's eyes widened. "At 60 years old? Age does not matter. Talent does. And you have been here 20 years. You know this hospital better than anyone." Marcus sat down on the bench. His hands shook. "I do not know what to say. Say yes. Say you will apply. Say you will let them see you." Marcus wiped his eyes. "Okay, yes, I will try." Jamal smiled. "Good. Because I am going to make sure they say yes this time." That evening, Jamal rode the bus home. The city lights blurred past the windows. His phone buzzed. A text from Dr. Morrison. "Welcome to the team. Let's talk about med school next week." Jamal replied, "Thank you. I will be there." He leaned his head against the window, exhausted. But for the first time in 4 years, it was a good exhaustion. His phone buzzed again. His mother. "Baby, I cannot stop crying." Happy tears. "Your father would be so proud." His father. Dead 12 years. Heart attack. 49 years old. Never got to see Jamal at Hopkins. Never got to see any of this. Jamal typed back, "I know, Mom. I wish he was here." He is. He is watching." "I know it," Jamal smiled. He was not religious, but he wanted to believe that. Just for tonight, the bus reached his stop. He got off, walked the 3 blocks home. The November air was cold. His breath made clouds. Inside his apartment, he dropped his backpack, took off his shoes, stood in the middle of the room. Everything looked the same, but everything was different. He walked to his desk, picked up the framed photo. Johns Hopkins, white coat ceremony. The young man who dreamed. "We are going back," he whispered to the photo. "Not right away, but we are going back." He set it down, opened his laptop, logged into his email. One new message. From Angela Davis. Subject, new position details. He opened it. Read through the job description. Clinical care coordinator. Responsibilities. Salary. Benefits. Start date, Monday, October 28th, 2024. 5 days from now. 5 days until his life changed. He closed the laptop, lay down on his bed, stared at the ceiling. His mind replayed the day. The moment he saw the patient, the decision to speak up, Laura's grip on his arm, the senator's tears, Dr. Patterson's offer, one decision, one moment, changed everything. He thought about all the other moments, the ones where he stayed quiet, where he pushed wheelchairs and said nothing, where he saw mistakes and bit his tongue. How many patients suffered because he was afraid? The thought made his chest tight, but that was over now. Starting Monday, he would have a voice, authority, a seat at the table. He would make sure no one else stayed invisible. His phone buzzed one more time. A text from Marcus. "Thank you, young man. You gave an old man hope. That is worth more than gold." Jamal smiled. Replied, "You gave me hope too, Marcus. We are going to change things, together." He set the phone down, closed his eyes. For the first time in years, he fell asleep without fear, without debt crushing his chest, without the weight of invisibility. Just sleep, deep, peaceful, earned. Monday morning, October 28th, 2024, 6:30 in the morning. Jamal's alarm rang. He reached over and turned it off. For a moment he lay there, staring at the ceiling. Today was different. Today he was not going to the basement, not putting on a yellow vest, not pushing wheelchairs through service corridors. Today he was clinical care coordinator. He got up, showered, shaved carefully, put on the new clothes he had bought over the weekend. Navy blue slacks, white button-down shirt, a tie, dark blue with thin silver stripes. His mother had helped him pick it out. They went to a discount store, found it on sale, $40. She cried when he tried it on. "You look like a professional," she said, "like the man you were always meant to be." Now, standing in front of his bathroom mirror, he adjusted the tie. His hands shook slightly. Nervous energy. He looked different, felt different. On his desk, a new ID badge waited. He had picked it up Friday afternoon. His photo, his name, his new title, Jamal Thompson. Clinical Care Coordinator, Chicago Lakefront Medical Center. He clipped it to his shirt pocket. The badge faced outward, visible, official, no more hiding. He grabbed his new bag. Not a backpack, a professional messenger bag. Leather, used, $30 at a thrift store, but it looked good. Inside, a tablet provided by the hospital. a notebook, pens, the Harrison's textbook. He could carry it openly now. He left his apartment, walked to the bus stop. The morning air was crisp. Fall in Chicago, leaves turning orange and red. The bus arrived. He climbed on, found a seat. Other passengers glanced at him. The tie, the badge. They saw a professional, not invisible anymore. 25 minutes later, he arrived at the hospital. But this time, he did not go to the employee entrance. He walked through the main entrance. The lobby, glass, marble, chandeliers. Security nodded to him. "Morning, sir. Sir, not hey or you." Sir Jamal nodded back. Kept walking. He took the main elevator. Pressed the button for the 8th floor. Administration, where his new office was located. The doors opened. A long hallway, carpeted, quiet. Doors with nameplates. He found his. Room 804. The nameplate was temporary. Printed paper in a plastic sleeve. Jamal Thompson, Clinical Care Coordinator. He opened the door. The office was small, but it was his. A desk, a chair, a computer, a window overlooking the city. On the desk, a welcome note. From Dr. Morrison. "Welcome to the team. Your first assignment is on the 10th floor. Patient education. Mrs. Helen Kraft. Room 1024. She's being discharged today but has questions about her medication. Help her understand. That is your job now. Use your knowledge. Use your heart. You will do great." Jamal set down his bag. Sat in the chair. His chair. At his desk. In his office. He took a breath. Let it out slowly. This was real. He stood. Picked up his tablet. Headed to the 10th floor. Room 1024. He knocked softly. "Come in," a voice called. He entered. The room was bright. Sunlight through the windows. An elderly woman sat on the bed. 75 years old. White hair. Kind eyes. She was dressed in her own clothes. "Ready to go home, Mrs. Kraft? I am Jamal Thompson, Clinical Care Coordinator. I am here to help you understand your discharge instructions." She smiled. "Oh good, the nurse was so rushed. She talked so fast. I did not understand half of it." Jamal pulled up a chair. Sat beside her. Not standing over her. Beside her. Eye level. "Let me see your paperwork." She handed him the discharge papers. He read through them. 3 medications. 1 for blood pressure. 1 for cholesterol. 1 for diabetes. "Okay," he said. "Let me explain each one. And please stop me if you have questions." He went through each medication. What it does. Why she needs it. How to take it. What side effects to watch for. He used simple words. No medical jargon. Just clear explanations. Mrs. Kraft listened carefully. Asked questions. He answered patiently. When they finished, she smiled. "You are very good at this. How long have you been doing this job?" "Today is my first day." Her eyes widened. "Really? You seem so experienced." "I studied medicine for a few years. I did not become a doctor, but I learned how to talk to people. How to listen. Well, you are wonderful. Thank you." He helped her gather her things. Walked her to the elevator. Made sure her family was waiting downstairs. As she left, she turned back. "Young man, whatever path led you here, I'm glad it did. You are going to help a lot of people." Jamal smiled. "Thank you, ma'am. That means a lot." Over the next 4 hours, he saw 6 more patients, each one leaving the hospital. Each one confused about medications, follow-up appointments, warning signs. He explained everything, patiently, clearly, kindly. By noon, his feet hurt. But it was a good hurt. The hurt of doing real work, meaningful work. He went to the cafeteria. Bought lunch. Sat at a table near the windows. A voice behind him. "Mind if I join you?" He turned. Dr. Morrison, white coat. Stethoscope around his neck. "Of course, sir." Dr. Morrison sat. "How was your first morning?" "Good, really good. I helped 7 patients. Made sure they understood their discharge plans." "That is more than good. That is excellent." Dr. Morrison opened his sandwich. "I got feedback already. 2 patients called to say how helpful you were. That never happens on day 1. Jamal felt warmth in his chest. Pride. Real pride. "I also wanted to talk to you about medical school," Dr. Morrison continued. "I spoke with Johns Hopkins, explained your situation. They are willing to consider your re-enrollment, but you would need to complete your 4th year. Take the MCAT again. Apply to their medical school formally. That is a lot. It is, but it is possible. And this hospital will support you. Tuition assistance. Flexible scheduling. Whatever you need." Jamal set down his fork. "Why are you doing this? Why are you helping me?" Dr. Morrison looked at him. "Because I almost made a terrible mistake. I almost let a resident give the wrong treatment. You stopped that. You saved a life. And you did it because you had knowledge and courage. Those are the 2 things every doctor needs. You have both. It would be a crime to waste that." Jamal's throat tightened. "Thank you, sir." "Do not thank me. Prove me right. Work hard, study, get into medical school. Become the doctor you were meant to be. I will. They finished lunch together, talking about medicine, about the hospital, about the future. For the first time in 4 years, Jamal had a mentor, someone who believed in him, someone who saw him. That evening, Jamal returned to his apartment, exhausted, but happy. He called his mother, told her about his day, about the patients, about Dr. Morrison's offer. She cried. Again, happy tears. Baby, I am so proud of you. Your father would be too. I know, Mom, I am going to make it. I am really going to make it. I never doubted it. Not for 1 second. They talked for an hour. About everything. About nothing. Just a mother and son, sharing joy. When he hung up, Jamal opened his laptop, Googled Johns Hopkins Medical School application. The page loaded. Requirements, deadlines, essays. It was daunting. But it was possible. He bookmarked the page, closed the laptop. Tomorrow he would start. Tonight he would rest. He lay down on his bed, looked at the framed photo on his desk. The young man in the white coat. We are going back, he whispered. I promise. And for the first time in years, he believed it. April 2025, spring in Chicago. The city was coming alive. Trees budding, flowers blooming, hope in the air. Jamal sat in the conference room on the second floor. Around the table, 12 people. Hospital staff from every department, doctors, nurses, administrators, and support staff, janitors, food service, transport. This was the Workforce Development Committee, created with Senator Reynolds' $5 million pledge, designed to find hidden talent, to give people pathways forward. Jamal was the co-chair, along with Angela Davis. Today's meeting was special. They were reviewing applications for the first round of scholarships. 25 support staff had applied for educational programs, nursing school, paramedic training, medical coding, pharmacy technician. Angela handed out the files. We have funding for 15 scholarships this year. We need to choose carefully. These are all strong candidates. Jamal opened the first file. Marcus Williams, age 60, janitor, 20 years at the hospital, applying for Healthcare Administration Certificate. His essay was simple, honest. I have spent 20 years cleaning this hospital. I know every floor, every department. I see what works and what does not. I want to use that knowledge to help improve operations. I may be old, but I am not done learning, Jamal smiled. Marcus is approved. No question, Angela nodded. Made a note. They went through each application. Stories emerged. A housekeeper with a nursing degree from the Philippines, not recognized in the US. She wanted to take the licensing exam. Needed prep courses. Approved. A food service worker who spoke 4 languages. Wanted to become a medical interpreter. Approved. A transport technician with an engineering background. Wanted to move into biomedical equipment maintenance. Approved. One by one, lives changed with a checkmark. By the end of the meeting, 15 scholarships were awarded. 15 people given a chance. Angela closed her folder. This is just the beginning. Next year, we will fund 30. The year after, 50. We are building something sustainable. Dr. Morrison, who was also on the committee, nodded. This should have happened decades ago, but better late than never. Laura Mitchell, who had joined the committee as promised, spoke quietly. I have learned a lot these past 6 months. About myself. About the system. About how many people I never saw. She looked at Jamal. Thank you for giving me a chance to be part of the solution. Jamal nodded. We all deserve second chances. The meeting ended. People filed out. Jamal stayed behind. Organizing his notes, Angela approached him. You have done incredible work. The hospital administration is impressed. They want to expand your role. Create a whole department around what you do. Patient advocacy and care coordination. You would lead it. Jamal looked up. Lead a department? Yes, hire staff. Set policies. Build something new. Interested? He thought about it. 6 months ago, he was pushing wheelchairs. Now he was being offered leadership. Can I think about it? Of course. But think fast. They want an answer by next month. She left. Jamal sat alone in the conference room. Sunlight streamed through the windows. The city stretched beyond, endless, full of possibility. His phone buzzed. An email. Subject: Johns Hopkins School of Medicine. Application update. His heart stopped. He opened it. Dear Mr. Thompson, we have completed our review of your application for readmission. We are pleased to inform you that you have been accepted into the MD program, beginning fall 2025. Welcome back. Jamal stared at the screen. Read it again. And again. Accepted. He was going back to medical school. His hands shook. His vision blurred. Tears spilled onto the table. 4 years. 4 years of pushing wheelchairs. Of being invisible. of wondering if his dream was dead, and now this. Acceptance. He grabbed his phone, called his mother. She answered on the first ring. Baby? Mom, I got in. Johns Hopkins. I'm going back to medical school. Screaming, crying, laughter, all at once. Oh, baby. Oh, my sweet boy, I knew it. I knew you would make it. They cried together. Over the phone. Miles apart, but connected. When they finally calmed down, his mother asked, "When do you start?" "August. 4 months from now." "What about your job? Your apartment?" "I do not know. I need to figure it out. But Mom, I am going back. I am really going back. Your father is smiling down on you. I know it. He is so proud." They talked for another 20 minutes, making plans, dreaming, hoping. When he hung up, Jamal sat back in the chair, breathed deeply. Let the reality sink in. Medical school. In 4 months. His dream. Alive again. But there was something else. A tug in his chest. This job, this hospital, the committee, the people he was helping. If he left, who would lead the workforce development program? Who would fight for the Marcus Williamses of the world? He thought about Angela's offer. Lead a department. Build something lasting. But medical school. Becoming a doctor. That was the original dream. The goal he had carried since childhood. Could he do both? Somehow he did not know. But he had 4 months to figure it out. That evening, Jamal walked through the hospital. Not rushing, just walking, observing. He passed the cafeteria, saw food service workers, laughing, tired, invisible to most. He passed the basement, saw janitors, mopping floors, emptying trash, invisible. He passed transport, saw men and women in yellow vests, moving patients, invisible. He saw himself. 4 years ago, in that vest, in that basement, in that invisibility. And he realized something. Medical school would make him a doctor. But this work, this program, this committee, it made him something else, a bridge, between the invisible and the visible, between the system and the people it overlooked. He could become a doctor. That was important. But maybe, just maybe, he could do more than that. He could change the system itself. He pulled out his phone, typed an email to Angela. "I am interested in the department leadership role. Let's talk details, but I also need flexibility. I have been accepted to medical school. I want to find a way to do both, if that is possible." He hit send, walked toward the exit. Into the evening air, the sun was setting, orange and pink across the sky. The city glowed. Somewhere behind him, the hospital hummed. 1,000 people working, 1,000 stories unfolding. And for the first time, Jamal felt like he was exactly where he belonged. Not invisible, not hidden, not waiting, but present, seen, alive. The dream was not dead. It had just changed shape, and maybe, just maybe, that was even better. August 2027, 2 years later, Baltimore, Maryland. Jamal walked across the Johns Hopkins campus. White coat, stethoscope, third-year medical student, rotations in the hospital. Real patients, real medicine, but today was special. He had flown back to Chicago for one day, for one event, the second annual Talent Ascension Program graduation. He landed at O'Hare at noon, took an Uber straight to Chicago Lakefront Medical Center. The auditorium was already filling. 500 people this time, twice as many as the launch. Backstage, Angela greeted him. "Welcome back, Dr. Thompson," he laughed. "Not yet. 2 more years. Close enough." She hugged him. "We have 50 graduates today. 50. Can you believe it?" Jamal shook his head. 2 years ago, it was 15. Now 50. The program was growing, spreading. Other hospitals were copying it. Dr. Patterson arrived, older now. Retirement announced for next year. But still strong. Still committed. "Jamal, good to see you. How is school?" "Hard. Exhausting. Amazing. Good. Medicine should be all those things." He smiled. "You ready to speak?" Always nervous. But yes, the ceremony began. Graduates walked across the stage, one by one. Each name announced. Each story a victory. Marcus Williams. Healthcare Administration Certificate. Now Operations Coordinator. Starting salary, $58,000. The crowd roared. Marcus waved. 62 years old. A new career. A new life. Maria Gonzalez. Registered nurse. License exam passed. Now working in pediatrics. Jamal remembered her. The Guatemalan housekeeper. Nursing degree finally recognized. Years of education finally valued. David Chen. Paramedic certification. Now working in emergency transport. Saving lives. Former security guard. PTSD overcome. Purpose restored. 50 stories. 50 transformations. When the graduates were seated, Dr. Patterson returned to the podium. "We have one more special moment. 2 years ago, a young man stood on this stage. He told his story. He launched a movement. Today, he is a medical student at Johns Hopkins. And he flew here just to be with us. Jamal Thompson, please come up. Jamal walked on stage. The applause was immediate, loud. He saw faces he recognized: Marcus, Maria, David, and dozens more. Staff who had applied, staff who were waiting, staff who now believed. He reached the podium. Thank you. It is good to be home. He paused. Let that word hang. Home. 2 years ago, I stood here and told you I was invisible. Today, I want to tell you something else. You made me visible. Not the other way around. Confused looks. He continued. People think I started this program. But I did not. You did. Every person who applied, every person who raised their hand and said, I have something to offer. You created this. I just had the privilege of being part of it. He looked at the graduates. 50 of you are graduating today. 50 new careers, new salaries, new opportunities. But the real change is not in your job title. It is in your belief. You now believe you matter. That belief will ripple outward to your families, your communities, your children. You are not just changing your life. You are changing the future. Applause. But he raised his hand. Not done yet. I want to talk about systems. 2 years ago, this hospital had a system that kept people small. That measured value by job title, by degree, by appearance. That system hurt everyone. Patients received worse care. Staff felt trapped. The hospital lost talent. He paused. But systems can change. Not easily. Not quickly. But they can change. And you proved it. He gestured to the crowd. Look around. Doctors, nurses, support staff, administration. We are all here, together. That is the system change. Not a program, but a culture. A culture that says everyone has value. Everyone deserves a chance. Everyone can rise. The applause grew louder. He spoke over it. I am in medical school now. In 2 years, I will be Dr. Thompson. I will have the white coat, the authority, the respect, but I will never forget where I came from. The basement, the yellow vest, the invisibility. Because that experience taught me the most important lesson in medicine. See the whole person. Not just their symptoms, not just their diagnosis, but their story, their struggle, their humanity. He looked directly at the support staff in the back rows. To everyone who is still waiting, still working jobs that do not use your full potential, still feeling invisible, know this, your time is coming. Apply to this program. Find your mentor. Take the first step. Because the system is not perfect, but it is better than it was, and it will keep getting better. Because of people like you. His voice softened. I want to end with a story. Last month, I was doing my rotation in the emergency room at Johns Hopkins. A patient came in. Heart attack. Unstable. The attending physician was about to make a decision. A wrong decision. I saw it, and I had a choice. Stay silent. I am just a student. Or speak up. Risk looking foolish. The room was silent. Listening, I spoke up. I said, Doctor, I think we should check for this. He looked at me, annoyed, but he checked. And I was right. We changed the treatment. The patient survived. Jamal's voice cracked. That moment, that decision to speak up. I learned it here. In this hospital. In that VIP room. When I stopped the wrong medication. I learned that speaking up is not optional. It is mandatory. Because lives depend on it. Tears streamed down his face. He did not wipe them. So thank you. Thank you for teaching me. Thank you for believing in me. Thank you for proving that change is possible. I will carry this lesson for the rest of my life, and I will honor it by seeing people, all people, always. The standing ovation lasted 5 minutes. People cried, hugged, celebrated. When it finally quieted, Dr. Patterson returned. Before we close, I have one announcement. The board of directors has voted. This program will be permanently endowed. $5 million from Senator Reynolds, $5 million more from hospital funds, and commitments from donors totaling $15 million. The Talent Ascension program is not going anywhere. It is here to stay. The crowd erupted again. This time with certainty, with relief, with joy. After the ceremony, Jamal walked through the hospital, one last time before flying back to Baltimore. He passed the 14th floor, VIP suite. Where it all began, he passed the basement, locker room 47, his old locker. Someone else's now. He passed the lobby, remembered walking through those doors 4 years ago. Invisible. Afraid, hoping for something better. Now he walked through as himself, seen, valued, hopeful. Outside the main entrance, he paused. The afternoon sun was warm. People streamed in and out, visitors, staff, patients. A young woman approached, mid-20s, wearing a yellow transport vest. She looked lost, nervous. Excuse me, she said. I am looking for the Talent Ascension office. Is it in this building? Jamal smiled. Yes, 5th floor. Room 512, are you applying? I am thinking about it. I have a degree in social work. From my home country. But here, it is not recognized. So I work transport. I have been here 6 months. I heard about the program. But I do not know if I am eligible. Jamal's chest tightened. He saw himself in her. The uncertainty. The hidden degree. The fear. You are eligible, he said firmly. If you want to advance, you are eligible. That is the whole point. She looked at him, hope flickering in her eyes. You work here? I used to. I was transport. Just like you. 4 years. Her eyes widened. And now? Now I am in medical school. Because I applied to that program. And people saw me. Finally. Tears filled her eyes. Really? Really. Go to the 5th floor. Talk to them. Tell your story. You matter. Your degree matters. You matter, she nodded, wiping her eyes. Thank you. Thank you so much, she hurried inside. Yellow vest bright against the marble lobby. Jamal watched her go, smiled. The cycle continued. Someone invisible becoming visible. Someone hidden being found. His phone buzzed. His Uber was here. Time to go to the airport. He took one last look at the hospital, the building where he had been broken down, and built back up, where he had learned that systems can change, that people matter, that speaking up saves lives. He walked to the car, got in. The driver pulled away. As they drove through Chicago, Jamal looked out the window. The city that had tested him, shaped him, made him stronger. His phone buzzed. A text from his mother. Watch the video of your speech. Crying happy tears. Your father would be so proud. I am so proud. You are changing the world, baby, Jamal replied. We are changing it together, Mom. All of us. He put the phone away, closed his eyes, let the exhaustion wash over him. 2 more years of medical school, then residency, then finally Dr. Jamal Thompson. But he knew now. The title did not matter. The white coat did not matter. What mattered was seeing people. All people. Always. That lesson. Learned in a hospital basement. In a yellow vest. In invisibility. That lesson would define his career. His life. His legacy. The car merged onto the highway. Toward the airport. Toward Baltimore. Toward the future. But part of Jamal would always be here. In Chicago. In that hospital. In that moment when he chose to speak up. Because that moment changed everything. Not just for him, but for everyone who came after. August 2027, 2 years later. Baltimore, Maryland. Jamal walked across the Johns Hopkins campus. White coat, stethoscope, 3rd-year medical student, rotations in the hospital. Real patients, real medicine, but today was special. He had flown back to Chicago for one day, for one event, the 2nd annual Talent Ascension Program graduation. He landed at O'Hare at noon, took an Uber straight to Chicago Lakefront Medical Center. The auditorium was already filling. 500 people this time, twice as many as the launch. Backstage, Angela greeted him. Welcome back, Dr. Thompson, he laughed. Not yet. 2 more years. Close enough, she hugged him. We have 50 graduates today. 50. Can you believe it? Jamal shook his head. 2 years ago, it was 15. Now 50. The program was growing, spreading. Other hospitals were copying it. Dr. Patterson arrived. Older now. Retirement announced for next year. But still strong. Still committed. Jamal, good to see you. How is school? Hard. Exhausting. Amazing. Good. Medicine should be all those things. He smiled. You ready to speak? Always nervous. But yes, the ceremony began. Graduates walked across the stage, one by one. Each name announced. Each story of victory. Marcus Williams. Healthcare Administration Certificate. Now Operations Coordinator. Starting salary, $58,000. The crowd roared. Marcus waved. 62 years old. A new career. A new life, Maria Gonzalez. Registered nurse, license exam passed. Now working in pediatrics. Jamal remembered her, the Guatemalan housekeeper. Nursing degree finally recognized. Years of education finally valued. David Chen. Paramedic certification. Now working in emergency transport. Saving lives, former security guard. PTSD overcome. Purpose restored. 50 stories. 50 transformations. When the graduates were seated, Dr. Patterson returned to the podium. We have one more special moment. 2 years ago, a young man stood on this stage. He told his story. He launched a movement. Today, he is a medical student at Johns Hopkins. And he flew here just to be with us. Jamal Thompson, please come up. Jamal walked on stage. The applause was immediate. Loud. He saw faces he recognized. Marcus, Maria, David, and dozens more. Staff who had applied. Staff who were waiting. Staff who now believed. He reached the podium. Thank you. It is good to be home. He paused. Let that word hang. Home. 2 years ago, I stood here and told you I was invisible. Today, I want to tell you something else. You made me visible. Not the other way around. Confused looks. He continued. People think I started this program, but I did not. You did. Every person who applied, every person who raised their hand and said, I have something to offer. You created this. I just had the privilege of being part of it. He looked at the graduates. 50 of you are graduating today. 50 new careers, new salaries, new opportunities. But the real change is not in your job title. It is in your belief. You now believe you matter. That belief will ripple outward to your families, your communities, your children. You are not just changing your life. You are changing the future. Applause. But he raised his hand. Not done yet. I want to talk about systems. 2 years ago, this hospital had a system that kept people small. That measured value by job title, by degree, by appearance. That system hurt everyone. Patients received worse care. Staff felt trapped. The hospital lost talent. He paused. But systems can change. Not easily. Not quickly. But they can change. And you proved it. He gestured to the crowd. Look around. Doctors, nurses, support staff, administration. We are all here, together. That is the system change. Not a program, but a culture. A culture that says everyone has value. Everyone deserves a chance. Everyone can rise. The applause grew louder. He spoke over it. I am in medical school now. In 2 years, I will be Dr. Thompson. I will have the white coat, the authority, the respect, but I will never forget where I came from. The basement, the yellow vest, the invisibility, because that experience taught me the most important lesson in medicine. See the whole person, not just their symptoms, not just their diagnosis, but their story, their struggle, their humanity. He looked directly at the support staff in the back rows, to everyone who is still waiting, still working jobs that do not use your full potential, still feeling invisible. Know this, your time is coming. Apply to this program. Find your mentor. Take the first step. Because the system is not perfect, but it is better than it was, and it will keep getting better. Because of people like you, his voice softened. I want to end with a story. Last month, I was doing my rotation in the emergency room at Johns Hopkins. A patient came in. Heart attack. Unstable. The attending physician was about to make a decision. A wrong decision. I saw it, and I had a choice. Stay silent. I am just a student. Or speak up. Risk looking foolish. The room was silent. Listening, I spoke up. I said, Doctor, I think we should check for this. He looked at me, annoyed, but he checked. And I was right. We changed the treatment. The patient survived. Jamal's voice cracked. That moment, that decision to speak up. I learned it here. In this hospital. In that VIP room. When I stopped the wrong medication. I learned that speaking up is not optional. It is mandatory. Because lives depend on it. Tears streamed down his face. He did not wipe them. So thank you. Thank you for teaching me. Thank you for believing in me. Thank you for proving that change is possible. I will carry this lesson for the rest of my life, and I will honor it by seeing people, always. The standing ovation lasted 5 minutes. People cried, hugged, celebrated. When it finally quieted, Dr. Patterson returned. Before we close, I have one announcement. The board of directors has voted. This program will be permanently endowed. $5 million from Senator Reynolds, $5 million more from hospital funds, and commitments from donors totaling $15 million. The Talent Ascension program is not going anywhere. It is here to stay. The crowd erupted again, this time with certainty, with relief, with joy. After the ceremony, Jamal walked through the hospital, one last time before flying back to Baltimore. He passed the 14th floor, VIP suite. Where it all began, he passed the basement, locker room 47. His old locker. Someone else's now. He passed the lobby. Remembered walking through those doors 4 years ago. Invisible. Afraid. Hoping for something better. Now he walked through as himself. Seen. Valued. Hopeful. Outside the main entrance, he paused. The afternoon sun was warm. People streamed in and out. Visitors, staff, patients. A young woman approached. Mid-20s. Wearing a yellow transport vest. She looked lost. Nervous. Excuse me, she said. I am looking for the Talent Ascension office. Is it in this building? Jamal smiled. Yes, 5th floor. Room 512. Are you applying? I am thinking about it. I have a degree in social work. From my home country. But here, it is not recognized. So I work transport. I have been here 6 months. I heard about the program. But I do not know if I am eligible. Jamal's chest tightened. He saw himself in her. The uncertainty. The hidden degree. The fear. You are eligible, he said firmly. If you want to advance, you are eligible. That is the whole point. She looked at him, hope flickering in her eyes. You work here? I used to. I was transport. Just like you. 4 years. Her eyes widened. And now? Now I am in medical school. Because I applied to that program. And people saw me. Finally, tears filled her eyes. Really? Really. Go to the 5th floor. Talk to them. Tell your story. You matter. Your degree matters. You matter, she nodded, wiping her eyes. Thank you. Thank you so much, she hurried inside. Yellow vest bright against the marble lobby. Jamal watched her go, smiled. The cycle continued. Someone invisible becoming visible. Someone hidden being found. His phone buzzed. His Uber was here. Time to go to the airport. He took one last look at the hospital, the building where he had been broken down, and built back up, where he had learned that systems can change, that people matter, that speaking up saves lives. He walked to the car, got in. The driver pulled away. As they drove through Chicago, Jamal looked out the window. The city that had tested him, shaped him, made him stronger. His phone buzzed. A text from his mother. Watch the video of your speech. Crying happy tears. Your father would be so proud. I am so proud. You are changing the world, baby, Jamal replied. We are changing it together, Mom. All of us. He put the phone away, closed his eyes, let the exhaustion wash over him. 2 more years of medical school, then residency, then finally Dr. Jamal Thompson. But he knew now. The title did not matter. The white coat did not matter. What mattered was seeing people. All people. Always. That lesson. Learned in a hospital basement. In a yellow vest. In invisibility. That lesson would define his career. His life. His legacy. The car merged onto the highway. Toward the airport. Toward Baltimore. Toward the future. But part of Jamal would always be here. In Chicago. In that hospital. In that moment when he chose to speak up. Because that moment changed everything. Not just for him, but for everyone who came after. Your worth is not measured by your job title. Your uniform does not define your potential. Your visibility is not determined by the system that overlooks you. Somewhere right now, someone is being ignored. Someone is pushing a wheelchair with a medical degree. Someone is mopping floors with an engineering background. Someone is serving food with a teaching certificate. Talent exists everywhere, but recognition does not. The question is not whether you have value. You do. The question is whether anyone is willing to see it. Jamal Thompson proved something important. Change begins with one voice, one person refusing to stay silent, one moment of courage. But change becomes permanent when systems shift, when cultures transform, when institutions commit to seeing everyone. If you have ever felt invisible, remember this: you are not the problem. The system that overlooks you is the problem, and systems can change. They must change. They will change, but only if people like you refuse to stay hidden. Speak up, apply, show your skills, demand to be seen, because the world needs what you have. Even if it does not know it yet, your moment is coming. Be ready, be brave. Be visible. That is justice. That is progress. That is how we all rise, together. This is Tales of Black Justice. Jamal Thompson was invisible in a yellow vest for 4 years, but one moment of courage saved a life and changed a hospital forever. If you believe that talent should be recognized regardless of job title or skin color, subscribe to this channel now. Hit that like button and tell us in the comments. Have you ever felt invisible at work? What hidden skills do you have that nobody knows about? Because every person has a story, and some of those stories are waiting for someone to finally listen. We share true stories of people who refused to stay hidden, who spoke up when it mattered, who changed systems that tried to keep them small. Subscribe, share this story, and remember, you are not invisible. You are just waiting for your moment, and when it comes, be ready to rise.